Sup guys, and welcome back to my list ranking every single boss in the Fromsoft games. So we're getting pretty deep into the list now, and if you haven't seen the older parts, feel free to check them out. But I think we are 100% out of the bosses that I have almost anything nice to say about. We are now officially in bad boss territory. Maybe not complete garbage, but pretty fucking bad. So let's just start with number 121, and that's the Centipede Demon. So, I know I said I didn't have anything nice to say. One nice thing to say, I think he looks pretty cool. That's it. Nothing about this boss really works. The only real way to fight him on the lava is to get the tail cut and get the orange charred ring. But I don't know why you would do that, because he is no more fun to fight on the lava than he is off. I guess if you equip the ring, you get that like tiny little bit of safety where, oh, maybe if I walk into the lava for a second, I'll take less damage. But fuck me, man. It's almost impossible to see what this boss is doing. You get underneath it, which is, I think, the best place to be, but then you can't see what he's doing because he like arches over like a fucking bridge. And it just becomes a swirl of just legs and particle effects and dust and lava. Oh god, this thing is fucking miserable. Wonderful kicker to Lost Isolith, you know, great way to start Lost Isolith off, like here's a shit boss and through here is a shit area. Ah man, I know the second half of the game was rushed, but fuck me man, there's no excuse for this fucking thing being there. Oh Christ, let's just move on. At number 122, it is the old hero from Demon Souls. So, there are two ways to fight Old Hero. You either fight him with the Thief's Ring, or without the Thief's Ring. If you fight him without the Thief's Ring, he's just a massive pain in the ass. He will often one-shot you, well, maybe not one-shot you, but two-shot you. And it's just not particularly fun. But if you fight him with the Thief's Ring, he's just a joke. I mean, they really captured the feeling of getting in a fist fight with a blind man. He just kind of, I don't know, he just swings around randomly and just begs for death. It's real, oh god, it's just such a pathetic fight. I'm not gonna say he's overrated, but I don't know, I see a lot of people treating him with like, oh, Old Hero's actually pretty good, he's a cool idea. He's not. He's really not a cool idea. I don't know, man. Old Hero is just a really, really weak boss. And of course it's Demon Souls, so it is worth mentioning the boss run back is just unbelievably abhorrent. I'm so glad that in later games they just focused real hard on let's just lower the boss run backs, let's put more bonfires here and there. And then Elden Ring added Stakes of Marika. This guy like begs for a Stake of Marika if it's your first time fighting him, especially if you don't know about the Thief's Ring. Oh my god, I wish there was a quicker way to get to this fucking thing. But that's Old Hero. So, at 123, it's the Iron Golem. Do you want my advice to kill the Iron Golem? Run straight up to him, hit him in the legs, he will fall off the edge. That's all you have to do every single time. He's just kind of a joke. He's way, way too easy. I remember my first time fighting this guy, I didn't know you could, you know, make him fall off the edge. I kind of knew you could make him fall over, but I never did. Well, I mean, I did it, but I waited for him to come to the center of the arena because I was worried about falling off. Oh, there he goes. See ya, bitch. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I guess Iron Tarkus can basically solo him. That's kind of cool. That speaks more to how cool Iron Tarkus is, not how good the Iron Golem is. Iron Golem's shit, and he belongs this low. I like his weapon, but that's not really to do with the boss fight. Oh, and actually, you know what, the shockwave effect when he swings his axe at you, that's kind of cool. But that's really the only thing I can muster up to say, hey, you know, he's not terrible. But he is terrible. So, at number 124, it's Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing. So, if you don't come in with a setup that can just wombo combo him or just stun lock him to death, I suppose he can be a challenge. But not a challenge in a fun way, in a PvP mage spamming spells abhorrent fucking way. He is the biggest pain in the ass if you have like a low damage build, or you just you're just trying to have fun, or you come here underleveled. He's just irritating. There's nothing fun about fighting Sir Gideon like that. But if you come like I did in, in this run, actually, it's not too crazy a run. It's not wacky high damage. It's just a fucking, it's the forked greatsword. Yeah, he's just a joke. It's a fight against an NPC with NPC AI, and he just crumples like a leaf, like a wet tissue paper pile. He will just crush it to a little ball. And I know these analogies suck, but it's like nothing much I can really say about him. You get his armor set afterwards. That's kind of nice. Oh, and you get his. Wait, do you get his mace? I can't even fucking remember. I've never used it. But yeah, that's Sir Gideon, I guess. I get why he's here, but it feels weird. You go straight from this guy to like one of the major bosses in the game, with obviously has a lot of love and effort to put into it. Not Sir Gideon though. Sir Gideon was shut out in a week. So at 125, it's the Storm King from Demon Souls. Is he a cool boss? Absolutely. Is his weapon cool? Yeah, it's cool. Is it fun to use? Yeah. Is the boss itself fun? Fuck no. It's really not. Storm King is just a fucking chore every single time. Just a big floating target, fires down a handful of projectiles every now and then, and just wanders past you. You've got all the little stingrays to deal with, which you can just kind of go in the house and kill them. Or you can go outside and kill them, although, you're at slight risk there. It's not the easiest boss, but it's just fucking monotonous. It's just not fun. I didn't have any fun fighting this guy my first time. This is my first time on screen right now. I didn't bother. I mean, I played through Demon Souls a couple times to really get a feel for the bosses, but I don't know, man. I feel like I got the feel the first time around. He didn't get any better the second time. I just dealt with him a little bit quicker because I knew what to do. It's a real shame. But if we look on the bright side, if you wanted to pull like a silver lining from this guy, you could say, okay, well they improved on him a little bit with Yorm, and then they basically perfected it with Rykard. Like a big boss that you have to deal with a special weapon, with a unique, like massive moveset. That's kind of cool. So while Storm King is shit, we could thank him for Rykard, which is real sweet. So yeah, that's the Storm King. So at number 126, it's the Guardian Ape Duo, or the Headless Ape Duo, whatever you want to call it. In my heart, I feel like this boss could potentially be lower, because like everything is here to make this a shit boss, right? It's a thoughtless two-target boss. There's no reason for them to be two. They do not work together. The arena is a wide open space with nothing to split up aggro. They're both super aggressive. This should fucking suck. However, there are a few things it kind of has going for it. Number one, the first phase is pretty fun, but that's just because I like the Headless Ape. But I've already fought the Headless Ape, and it was a lot better when I fought it as part of, the second phase to the Guardian Ape. But that doesn't really excuse the abysmal second phase. But because it has that third phase, I can't rank it as low as, say, well, I won't say where they are on the list, but Godskin Duo, which is always a two-target boss. There isn't a first phase where you fight one. And the other thing, that it's not that it has this going for it, but it kind of excuses how bad it is, I guess. So normally with two-target bosses, you'll run into this issue a lot where you run out of stamina and they're both right next to you and you are fucked. You've tried to roll away, but one of them's, you've rolled away from one of their attacks and the other one's just fucking attacking at the same time. It's like, shit, I'm in a position here where I can't move, I'm stuck. But with Sekiro, you're super fast and you have infinite stamina. So you kind of can't afford to just constantly be running away looking for openings. I never find myself cornered by the Headless Ape Duo. If one of them's up in my face and the other one's running towards me, I don't have to worry about like, oh shit, will I have enough stamina to, dodge this attack and then run away? You can just always do it. And I don't know, I guess you can kill the little second ape pretty quick. It has like a fraction of the health and a fraction of the posture. That said, still a shit boss. Like, it's not good. The only good points about this boss are like, oh, this holds it back from being even lower, but they don't elevate it from a position it would have held. I mean, fuck it, it's still bad. I'm gonna keep it a handful exchange with you guys. I think people are way too charitable to Gravelord Neato. This boss is fucking awful, and it deserves to be this low. So let's get the good points out of the way. I love that you can get his weapon early if you go down to the coffin. That's really cool. I like his weapon. And I think his design is great. Just his like conglomeration of skeletons combined into this big lumbering beast. He's so cool. Now that the good things are out the way, the fight itself is just shit. It's just not fun. It is horribly designed. It's frustrating. He has the attack where he just launches at, what do you call it? He like launches a Gravelord through the floor, which if it's your second time fighting him, for some reason he just instantly does it, and it's just not reactable. It's fucking horrible. The arena is just filled with little skeletons, and even a couple big skeletons for good measure, which, like, that's the real challenge of the boss, because when they're dead, if you go in with an occult weapon, which trivializes the fight, or, you know, the brief periods where he just explodes and kills them all, the actual boss, I think he has, like, what, 3 attacks? They'll never hit you, he's super slow. Oh, and one more decision that drives me fucking insane. I cannot believe they left it in the game. When you enter the boss fight, guaranteed fall damage. Why? And it's not a little bit either, it's like half your health bar, I'm pretty sure. It's a lot of fall damage. What's the fucking point of that? It feels so disheartening that if it's your second time fighting him, you fall down, you lose a massive chunk of your HP, and then you immediately get hit by a Gravelord sword. Just, I don't know if it's an oversight or they just felt like annoying you when you fight Neato. It really does suck as one of like the big bosses of Dark Souls 1. But, I don't know, I mean, I guess he's not the worst of the end bosses. They have yet to appear. But yeah, I don't like Gravelord Neato. I wish he was better because I love his design so much, but I'm afraid this is where he belongs. So, for 128, I'd say I have about the same amount of disdain for the actual boss fight with Neato. Although, maybe Neato is a little more annoying, I just personally think that the design of the Executioner's Chariot is just, I don't know, just less interesting. Oh my god, I have no idea what to say about this thing. If you fought him before, you know what I mean. It's just annoying, I guess. I think the one part about the fight I do kind of like is that if you time it right, you can roll between the wheels when he comes in. So that's kind of cool. The fight with the horse, once you knock him down, is just nothing. It's literally just nothing. It has a charge with a horrible hitbox, it has a kick with a weird hitbox, and it's just such a waste of a boss. I don't know, man. Executioner's Chariot also suffers from a fucking horrendous boss run back, and just like the Smelter Demon, really makes you wish they would bring back for Dark Souls 2 invincibility at the Fog Gate. That would have been a really nice feature if, you know, for We Actively Made the Game Worse edition. They put that in. Boss fog invincibility would have been the best new change. But no, they had to just, you know, just spam the areas with more enemies. Couldn't do that. Couldn't put anything cool in there. That would suck. No. We don't need that. More enemies. Put the fucking horse in Drangleic Castle. That's what we need. I'm rambling at this point, but Executioner's Chariot's he's just not great. It's just not fun. So, at 129, it's the Asylum Demon from Dark Souls. So, Dark Souls itself was my first ever Souls game, and if this was like first impressions, I don't think this guy's too bad, because as a boss fight, you know, he's got pretty telegraphed moves, he has not a huge move set, but at least enough for it to be kind of fresh, I guess. But on repeat playthroughs, this guy's just, it's just too fucking easy. The Asylum Demon itself, you can knock off most of its health, well, not most of its health, but a huge chunk of health from the plunging attack, and then it's just over in seconds. I'm gonna have to just repeat footage, because you kill him so quickly. Like, just to compare him to a much better tutorial boss, let's say Iudex Gundia, or Ludex Gundria, whatever he's called. Yeah, he's pretty easy, he's a tutorial boss, but on repeat playthroughs, he's still kind of fun, because he has a pretty extensive moveset. He has a second phase. He's not so unbelievably easy that it's just like, oh, let's just get this out the way real quick. I will say the only reason he's higher than the next two bosses, and you'll see, is you're given the option to kill him when you're first presented with him, and you can get a pretty cool weapon out of it, which I do appreciate, you know, similar to the Vanguard Demon, but he's just such a fucking, he's just so easy. He's just out of the way. So yeah, that's the Asylum Demon. So the one cool thing about this boss, I guess, you get a Titanite slab from it, and I guess it's kind of cool that you can come back to the Asylum. Outside of that, yeah, this is just shit. This is just wet hot garbage. Pretty, not the best move set. He has one move, which still to this day drives me fucking insane. It's when he stands, swings his axe to the side, and then there's an explosion in front of him. It's so awkward to read. The first time I fought this guy, I just keep getting hit by the explosion, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Where's the explosion coming from? And I guess it's meant to be like he's casting a spell, but because we're in such a tight room, it looks like he's smacking the wall with his axe. I just don't like this fucking boss. He is somewhat easy, assuming he doesn't spam the explosion in front of him too much. But there's just nothing to say about him. Reused model, different arena, I guess. Just shit. But because it's cool that you can come back to the Asylum and fight him, that's why he's one space higher than the next boss. They must have really liked the Asylum Demon model, because here at 131, it's Demon Fire Sage. Which, by the way, doesn't even deal fucking fire damage, it deals magic damage, not that it matters that much, but just... What can I even say about the Demon Fire Sage that I haven't already said about Stray Demon and Asylum Demon? Just big, fat, fucking waste of space. Same moveset as the Stray Demon, including the fucking awful move where he swings the weapon to the side. But I feel like there's a little more space in this boss fight, so it doesn't get on my nerves as much. That said, just lazy and just shit. Really screams that, yeah, we threw this area together with like Lost Izalith and the Demon Ruins. Bed of Chaos feels unfinished. This feels just thrown in because they were like, oh fuck, we better put a boss here. Just reskin the Stray Demon. May as well. Maybe they put it in because they thought like, hey, not everyone's gonna find the Stray Demon, but I'm sure everybody wants to fight Asylum Demon again, so let's stick him in. Just, there's nothing else to say. Just shit, and I hate it. So, at 132, it's the Living Failures. Having these guys right before, and I mean literally right before, you kill them and then the boss gate is there, right before Maria, is a fucking crime. Why would they put this fucking waste of space right before Maria? Just, oh my god, just boring moveset. It's a gank fight, though it doesn't really feel like much of a gank fight because they're all slow as shit and they're happy to just wander around and smell the flowers. God, I hate the fucking Living Failures, man. And it sucks because every other boss in the Bloodborne DLC is at the very least like, they range from good to fucking amazing. You know, you've got Orphan of Kos, who is probably my favorite boss in Bloodborne. You have Maria, who's also really good. And then you have these fucking things. It sucks, man, because the DLC almost never misses, but they just feel like sloppily thrown together, just without a care in the world. Just dump a bunch of enemies in a room and just, you figure it out, just fight them, I guess. They do have the one meteor attack, and I know you can stand behind the sunflowers, but I didn't even bother looking up a guide. I just ended up running it inside the little house section, and you can avoid it there too. I just don't like these guys. Their attacks will sometimes overlap if you're fighting two at once. They can do a decent amount of damage, which, if anything, makes the fight worse. I'm not happy because it's a little harder. I'm annoyed because I'm at risk of having to do it again. Yeah, like, they've just got nothing going for them, and they deserve to be this low down. So yeah, that's the Living Failures. So, at 133, it's Maiden Estrella from Demon Souls. So I kind of feel like an extreme version of how I felt about Sif. With Sif, like, the lore is there, the visuals are there, the atmosphere is there, but then the actual boss is just, it's there, you know, like, it's just nothing. Maiden Estrella, on the other hand, like, the lore is absolutely there. Like, visually, it thematically works really well. The atmosphere is, it is there. but the actual fight is fucking atrocious. It is ungodly shit. It is awful. If this boss didn't have any lore, I think it would be like nearly last place. It is held up entirely by the lore and the atmosphere. There are 3 ways to fight this boss. You can fight her from a distance, like just like snipe her from the hill, in which case the boss is tedious. You can fall down into the shit pit and get fucked by the little plague babies, in which case the fight is atrocious. Or you can fight Gal Finland, in which case the fight is just fucking boring. Gal has 1 attack, well, he'll only use 1 attack. He's standing underneath a rock, which not only will sometimes bounce your weapons off, it sometimes bounces his hits off, so you just run into each other and just dink, dink, just infinitely. I hate this fucking boss. I guess you get his shield, which is probably one of the best shields in the game. That's cool, I guess. I mean, it's nothing to do with the boss fight, but you get it. There's just no saving how unbelievably shit this fight is. But the only thing you can really say is, like I said, lore and atmosphere, that stops it from being right near the fucking bottom. But certainly doesn't save it from being this low. Really not a fan of this boss. So at 134, it's the Armored Spider. I don't really have any specific reason I don't like the Armored Spider, I just don't like it. I just think it's not fun. Tiny moveset, it's pretty easy, all things considered, and it's just shit. I just really don't like him. I complain about the tiny moveset. It really is a tiny moveset. If you're up in front of him, he has basically 2 moves, and then every now and then he'll charge up the big flame move, and you run away. Just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's the same boss every time. There's so little variation because the boss is static. I've got almost nothing else to say about him. Tell you what, I will give you one fun little piece of trivia. The model for the Armored Spider is actually a recycled model from an old Fromsoft game called Ninja Blade. That's kind of cool. It looked a little different in Ninja Blade. It had like even more armor. It had like big spikes and shit all over it. Feel free to look that up, I guess. It's called Ninja Blade by From Software. And there's a big spider boss. I'm sure you can play like I'm sure you can find like a Let's Play or something. That's the only interesting thing about this boss, but that little piece of trivia absolutely does not bring it any higher. I just think the Armored Spider sucks fucking gorilla dick. Let's just move on to the next one. And at 135, to top up the list, it's the Guardian Dragon from Dark Souls 2. It's just shit. I know I've said this for a bunch of bosses, but I really have almost nothing to say about this fucking thing. It's over in seconds because it has no health. It's extra insulting that the second you kill this boss, the very next area is filled. I mean fucking filled with Guardian Dragons. Why? Why did they do that? It feels so fucking weird. I don't know if this boss would be higher or lower if it was like a unique enemy instead of just appearing 50 fucking times afterwards. Well, not 50, like 6, 7. I don't know. Who gives a shit? It's just the Guardian Dragon. I guess the trees, if you look down, look like actual fucking dog shit. They are literally, they're so close to you and they're just 2D textures overlapped on each other. They look awful. Everything about this fight is just lazy. It's lazy because the next area is filled with them. It's lazy because the trees look like shit. It just feels thrown in, like they felt the need to just put a boss here. And I actually think the arena, like the big cage you're in, it's kind of cool. They could have put something cool in there. But no, it's just the Guardian Dragon. And with that, I think that's where the list comes to an end for today. I guess I'll catch you guys in the next part. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know in the comments if there's anything you disagree with, anyone you think should be higher or lower even. But in the next part of the list, we are really starting to dip into the pure, just shit bosses. Like, it's only getting worse from here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.